Hello, this is Thomas K4SWL. If you're new here, I like to do real-time, real-life amateur radio field activation videos. And today, I'm coming to you live, at least it's live for me, from a very foggy, rainy Zebulon Vance historic birth site. And it's one of those days, it's super overcast, lots of inversion going on. And not the best day to be outdoors, but it's actually not raining too badly right now. It's been, we've had some intermittent downpours. I decided today to make it easy on myself. I deployed the Xiegu MC750 vertical antenna. I've configured it for 20 meters, which is one of the great things about this antenna. You know, I've been using this a whole lot lately. I really do like this antenna a lot because it's so easy to configure for a band. If you can see here, I don't know if you can see this in the video, but basically there's some silk screening on the whip here. And once you configure it, the silk screening makes it very easy to configure for a number of different meter bands. I've got it configured for 14 megahertz right now, and that usually gives me about a 1.2, 1.3 to 1 all across the 20 meter band, all the way from the lowest frequencies in the CW spectrum up to the highest in single sideband. And I feed this, I should say, because I've gotten a lot of questions about this, I feed this right now with a this is like a 40 or 45 foot cable I had made custom by ABR Industries probably 2 years ago or something. Really kind of configured it to do a dipole antenna, but I find it so useful for this MC750 and also for my Chameleon Impasse Lite and Impasse 2.0, because they have an SO239 and this has a PL259 on one end, and I configured the other end with a BNC. But the important part is today, this is a resonant antenna because I don't have an external antenna tuner with me, and I've got a radio that doesn't have a built-in antenna tuner. It's trash. Let's pick that up. Sorry, I try to pick up trash when I'm at these places. Sometimes it's a lot. I'll get you in a second. You can see I brought a bunch of extra equipment with me today. I brought my box from my car. I keep a whole bunch of extra radio gear in here. Because I've got a radio that doesn't have a field kit. This radio is the Xiegu G106. And I have to thank Radioddity, who is a retailer of Xiegu products. They sent me this radio on loan to review. And yeah, that's what we're going to do today. This is going to be a trial by fire. I've never taken this radio to the field. I've only made a handful of CW contacts in the shack, played around a little bit with the menu settings and things like that. That's about it. That's all I've done with this radio. This radio is actually the second G106 I've had. Radioddity sent me one, I think it was in September of last year, so September of 2022, right after it came out on the market. Actually, it came to me via Mike, K8MRD, who, if you saw his videos, he did not think a lot of this radio when it first came out. And he gave an update to the video where it wasn't quite as bad after they did some firmware upgrades and updates to it. Mike sent it to me. I started to use it, and like him, I noticed that the transmit was kind of dirty on it. And I just told Radioddity I don't want to take this to the field and operate it because I don't want to put the signal on the air. It's just a little too messy. And they understood, and so they took it back, and I think they repaired that unit or something. And they just sent me, just this past week, this G106, which is the latest, with the latest firmware and everything. I don't know what has been done to it. They didn't tell me. I know it has the latest firmware. I don't know if there have been any hardware modifications to it at all. But I thought I'd maybe take a couple minutes to talk about this radio and kind of tell you what I do know about it. And maybe we can put it on the air. I'd like to do a little bit of single sideband, a little bit of CW, and then we'll have a better assessment of how this radio works in the field. First of all, this radio costs $320 US. I think in Europe, maybe one of the retailers I think sells it for around 300 euro or so, but it's right around that price mark. So, in other words, very affordable for a multi-mode HF radio. This radio covers from 160 to 10 meters, so pretty much all of the HF spectrum. Well, all of the HF spectrum. It just doesn't include 6 meters. It has all of the modes, basically, single sideband, CW, AM, and FM. It'll also receive the FM broadcast band, which I would never really need that feature myself. It's very compact. Like, here's my hand. You can just kind of see it's a small radio, very small radio. Not big at all. There's no bail or anything on it. It has these nice rounded sides. The form factor is actually pretty appealing. It's got a speaker on top. The back of it just has a few connection points, one for comms and data. It has a ground lug, it has a key port, and an antenna port. It's VNC, along with voltage in. I measured this on my bench variable power supply and found that it basically receives, I think it's like 320 milliamps with the display light off and 330 with it on. I'm bringing that from memory. If you probably want to read my post that I've written to go along with this video on qrpr.com, you find a link to that below. I may also link to it up here, and I'll have more specifics in case I got that number and down wrong. But basically, it's a nice little QRP radio and very appealing price. I'm a little hesitant to use this radio after my first experience with it, but I want to give it a fair shakeout, actually, because there are some people who are really big fans of Xiegu because their products are so affordable. It really does open up the market for people to get an affordable field radio that they don't have to worry about too much when they have it in the field if something goes wrong. I'm going to plan to do, like I said, single sideband today and then some CW or vice versa. I'll probably do single sideband first. And let me just show you really briefly the basics of this radio. There are other videos out there that show you this, so I'm not going to go into a lot of detail. On top, you have the power button, which is also the display light on and off. You press it and hold it to turn it on and off. Turn the radio on and off to power it on and off. And then you press it temporarily to toggle the backlight. You have a preamp and mode selector up here on top. You have the band switches go back and forth. And I'm seeing a lock on there now. This must mean that you can lock out the controls, maybe by pressing both at the same time. Those are the only controls on top. On the front, you have a volume control, which is just a volume control, an AF gain. That's it. So you turn it up, and it has like a little indents as you turn it. So does the tuning encoder. The encoder is weighted. It's weighted a little bit. It feels okay. It does have indents in it as well, or detents, I think you'd call them. You can feel those. One thing that annoys me, so actually, you can press in this encoder, like a lot of encoders on these small radios, you can press it in and it's a button as well. When I wanted to tune, I found that, by default, it highlights the 1 kilohertz segment in the display, which means you can only go 1 kilohertz. I wanted to fine tune it and go down to like tenths or maybe 100ths. I could not figure out how to do it because when you press the encoder in, you would think that would take it into that, but no, it takes it into the menus down here temporarily. To move the cursor to the position that you want for your tuning, you press and hold a band button, either to the right or left. And after like 2 seconds, it'll move it one way or another. I'm not a big fan of that, if I'm being honest. I really think they should have put it in the encoder. But there you go. So there are, like I said, you can get to the menu functions here by either pressing in the encoder or just pressing any one of these buttons. And then you have menu selections here, but they don't stay on long, like maybe 3 seconds. And that's kind of annoying too. But basically you can toggle between them with the encoder. So it has 5 different screens or 5 different pages of features on here that you can control. The first one has things like, your AB, VFOs. There's one kind of dedicated to CW things like your QSK time, if you're using the right or left side of the paddle, the ratio and speed, that's all in there. There's another one that has, to be honest, they've kind of divided these up into usable, I hate that, usable little banks, also wide FM. There's 5 pages, you can run through them, you kind of memorize really quickly where things are. But you do have to dig into a menu to do anything. And if I'm being honest, I don't like the ergonomics of this. I think they should have done something a little more clever than having this timeout. I find that as I'm learning the radio, you press a button and you start to look for, like maybe this TX power. That's one of them right there is TXP. You click on it and you're looking at it, and it does have high, low, and mid power. I don't know what those correspond to. High power would be 5 watts because that's the highest they have. And you click save. But when you have these up, if you're looking at them and you're thinking for a second, they'll just disappear on you. And I'm not too crazy about that. The display is actually pretty nice and readable, as you can probably see here, in the camera, hopefully. It's very nice and readable. There's actually a usable spectrum display. I like this a lot. This reminds me of the Lab 599 Discovery TX500, sort of. Very usable little display, so you can see where signals are. They're not marked or anything, but that's it. You'll notice, I noticed, a very conspicuous lack of power output indicator or SWR indicator, and that's because there is no SWR meter on this, and there's no power output meter on this other than you can set the power setting. So it makes me a little nervous when I'm using a resonant antenna, because even though with resonant antennas you can be pretty confident they're resonant, sometimes things could affect it, like you could have a fault in your cable, or a connector is not plugged in all the way or something, and you're not able to see that there's maybe a little bit of a fault. I would have expected that in this radio, even at this price class, only because it's an SDR radio, and you would expect on a modern radio to at least have an SWR meter, but it doesn't. I mean, it's not the end of the world or anything, but it doesn't have an SWR meter. If I can find it here in the display, yeah, DIS, if you click that, they have different ways that you can configure the display. 3 different ones, I believe. So big scope, scope, and scope plus S, it says. And I'm guessing that the S, wow, they're showing the S meter for the signal received. That's what that is. So it'll show you the A for the VFOA, VFOB, the S meter, and then a little tiny spectrum display. There's also, let's see here, display. If we go to just scope, it just shows you, after that disappears, then they take out the S meter and gives the scope a little bit more to room. And then, of course, you can hit display and go up to big scope and click save. And it gives you the largest spectrum display that you can have. So it's up to you which one you want. That's pretty much it. There are a few other features. This is not a super feature-rich radio, but it does have, a lot of the features you're looking for some of the basics, at least. I'll be writing up a review of this. It goes into way more detail when I've spent more time with this radio. I just haven't spent a lot of time with it yet. I will tell you that in CW, the QSK is not actually full break-in. You can't hear between the elements. I don't see why they have a millisecond delay that you can control all the way from 0 up to whatever number you want. It defaults to 100 when you're doing QSK, and I've lowered it down to 0, and there's absolutely no difference between using it with 100 or using it with 0. So there's not really a big difference in QSK. So let's see. Let's just get this thing on the air, and I think I will start with single sideband this time, maybe. I have not spotted myself. I do have a little bit of signal coverage here, which helps out. Let's try to situate everything kind of carefully. And there are no CW message memories with this radio. There are no single sideband message memories. No, nothing like that. The little microphone that comes with it feels like a toy. It's very, very tiny, but it probably gets the job done, I'm guessing. So I'm going to change this to SSB because I do think that I will start with single sideband. I should say too, also, if you didn't notice, I've got my Surface Go tablet over here on the side. I'm going to be logging with N3FJP. This time it's a lot easier for me to log with that than on my phone, so I'll be doing that. But speaking of phone, I do need to spot myself. Let me pull up the POTA website, click Add Spot, and then let me find a free spot here. This is where having this little display really comes in handy, actually. Boy, the band is pretty busy. Look at that. Okay, let's see. Is this frequency in use? This is K4SWL. The speaker kind of maxes out. I hope that you're able to hear this really well. The speaker is not super powerful in this radio. It's sufficient, but not powerful. Is this frequency in use? This is K4SWL. Okay, we'll give this a go. I don't hear anybody there. 14.328. Park reference is K-6856. SSB. And then I'll put in here. Let's just see here. Spot. Okay, and hopefully our spot will go through. CQ POTA, CQ POTA, CQ POTA. This is Kilo 4, Sierra Whiskey Lima calling CQ for Parks on the Air. CQ POTA, CQ POTA. This is Kilo 4, Sierra Whiskey Lima calling CQ for Parks on the Air. CQ POTA, CQ POTA, CQ POTA. This is Kilo 4, Sierra Whiskey Lima calling CQ for Parks on the Air. CQ POTA, CQ POTA. This is Kilo 4, Sierra Whiskey Lima calling CQ for Parks on the Air. CQ POTA, CQ POTA. This is Kilo 4, Sierra Whiskey Lima calling CQ for Parks on the Air. CQ POTA, CQ POTA. This is Kilo 4, Sierra Whiskey Lima calling CQ for Parks on the Air. CQ POTA, CQ POTA. This is Kilo 4, Sierra Whiskey Lima calling CQ for Parks on the Air.
QRP, Kilo Echo 8, Papa Tango, X-ray, QRP. Whiskey 8, Sierra Echo Golf.
Okay, Kilo 8, Kilo Echo 8, Papa Tango X-ray. This is Kilo 4, Sierra Whiskey Lima. Your QRP signal's good. I'm running 5 watts here myself. You're about a 5x7 here at Park 6856, QSL. Kilo Echo 8, Papa Tango X-ray. You're 5x7, QSL.
Roger, you're a 5-5, Thomas.
Roger, my friend. Thank you so much for the contact here at Kilo 6856. And 7-3s, my friend.
7-3, enjoy.
QRZ, this is Kilo 4, Sierra Whiskey Lima for Parks on the Air.
Delta 2, Uniform Bravo Juliet.
The Uniform Bravo Juliet station, go ahead.
Kilo Delta 2, Uniform Bravo Juliet.
Kilo Delta 2, Uniform Bravo Juliet. You are 5x9 here at 6856 QSL.
QSL, gotcha. You're about a 5-5 here in Western New York. Doing good with QRP.
Roger. Yes, I'm doing about 5 watts here myself. Thank you so much for the contact, my friend. Have a great day.
Have a good day.
7-3s and QRZ. This is Kilo 4, Sierra Whiskey Lima for Parks on the Air.
8, Sierra Echo Golf. Uniform Mike.
Okay, the Uniform Mike, go ahead.
Yeah, Whiskey 9, Uniform Mike. Name here is Jim, Southwestern Wisconsin. Worked you many times on CW, so thanks for the contact. 7-3.
Roger. Your call sign's very familiar, and you are 5x9 here, 5x9 at Park 6856. 7-3s, my friend. Thank you for working me in single sideband.
7-3.
QRZ, this is Kilo 4, Sierra Whiskey Lima for Parks on the Air.
Sierra Echo Golf. November 5, Kilo Golf Yankee.
November 5, Kilo Golf Yankee, you're 5x5, 5x5, QSL.
I got the 5-5, you're 5-7, 6-7, Mississippi.
Roger on that 5x7 in Mississippi. Thank you so much for the contact, my friend. Have yourself a wonderful day.
7-3,
QRZ, this is Kilo 4, Sierra Whiskey Lima for Parks on the Air.
Kilo Delta 5, Romeo Echo Whiskey.
The Romeo Echo Whiskey, go ahead.
Kilo Delta 5, Romeo Echo Whiskey.
Kilo Delta 5, Romeo Echo Whiskey. You are, hang on one second, let me change my my logs here. You are 5x9 here at Park 6856, QSL.
QSL, thank you. You're 5-7 into Louisiana, Lima Alpha. Thank you and good luck. Great to hear you.
Roger, Roger, my friend. Thank you so much for the contact, and have yourself a wonderful evening. QRZ, this is Kilo 4, Sierra Whiskey Lima for Parks on the Air.
Delta.
The station ending Delta, go ahead.
November 8, Hotel Sierra Delta.
November 8, Hotel Sierra Delta, you're 5 by 9. Great signal here at Park 6856, QSL.
QSL Thomas, you're 57, 5 by 7 into Missouri, Mike Oscar. Like your YouTube videos, over.
Hey, thank you so much, my friend. I hope they don't put you to sleep too readily. Hey, 7-3, it's great to work you here in the phone bands. QRZ, this is Kilo 4, Sierra Whiskey Lima for Parks on the Air. Okay, the station ending Mike Yankee, go ahead.
The correct call is November 5, Sierra Lima Yankee.
Sierra, Roger, Roger. Okay, so November 5, Sierra Lima Yankee, and you are 5 by 9 here at Park 6856, QSL.
QSL, 6856, about 5 and 7 in Texas, Bingo X-ray.
Roger, Roger. Thanks so much. I'm glad to hear I'm making it into Texas. Hey, 7-3's my friend. Have yourself a wonderful day. QRZ, this is Kilo 4, Sierra Whiskey Lima for Parks on the Air. Okay, the Echo Golf Station, go ahead.
Whiskey 8, Sierra Echo Golf.
Whiskey 8, Sierra Echo Golf, you're 5 by 9 here, my friend. QSL?
QSL 59, picture 57 with some QSB, Northeast Ohio. Thanks for the videos, 73.
Hey, thank you, my friend. Take care and have yourself a wonderful day. QRZ. Did I hear a Zulu in there? Oh, Kyle, Alpha 0 Zulu. Great to hear you, man. You're about a 5 by 7 here at Park 6856.
Very good, pilot. Yeah, you're about a 5-5 Missouri. Glad to get you in the log on single sideband, and yeah, hope to work you even more on single sideband in the future. 73.
Roger, Roger, my friend. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's great to hear your voice across the bands here. And I'm going to hopefully move over to CW a little bit later, too, and just do a little bit of 20-meter CW as well. 7-3's my friend. Take care. And QRZ, this is Kilo 4, Sierra Whiskey Lima for Parks on the Air.
W, Lima Echo Charlie.
The Limo Echo Charlie station, go ahead.
November 2, Lima Echo Charlie. You are 5 by 6, New Jersey. 56, November Juliet. Back to you.
Roger, Roger, my friend. Thank you very much for the signal report in New Jersey. You are a 5 by 7, November 2, Lima Echo Charlie, 5 by 7 here at Park 6856. QSL?
QSL, thank you very much for the activation. Have a good afternoon, 7-3.
Roger, Roger, my friend. 7-3's. QRZ, this is Kilo 4, Sierra Whiskey Lima for Parks on the Air. Golly. Okay, November 5, Golf Oscar Kilo, the Park to Park. You are about a 5 by 6 here at Park 6856. QSL?
Thank you very much, sir. 456, you're 5, 6 also, into Kilo 0543. Kilo 0543, QSL.
Roger, Roger on the Kilo 0543. Thank you so much for the contact on the Park to Park, my friend. I hope you have good luck with the rest of your activation. 7-3's. QRZ, this is Kilo 4, Sierra Whiskey Lima for Parks on the Air. The Alpha Whiskey station, go ahead.
Roger, Victor Echo 2, Alpha Whiskey, Thomas, over.
Roger, Roger, Victor Echo 2, Alpha Whiskey. Great to get into Quebec today. You're about a 5 by 8 here at Kilo 6856. QSL?
Roger, Thomas, very much. Thank you for the report. You're 5 and 7 here, 5 and 7 in Quebec. Thanks for the activation, Thomas. 7-3.
Hey, 7-3's my friend. A bonne journée. 7-3's. QRZ, this is Kilo 4, Sierra Whiskey Lima for Parks on the Air.
Whiskey 3, Whiskey Delta Kilowatt.
Whiskey 3, Whiskey Delta Kilowatt. This is Kilo 4, Sierra Whiskey Lima. You're about a 5 by 7 here at Park 6856. QSL?
QSL, you're also 5-7 Pennsylvania, QSL.
Roger, Roger is a 5 by 7 in Pennsylvania. Thank you so much for the contact, my friend, and 7-3's.
73.
QRZ, this is Kilo 4, Sierra Whiskey Lima for Parks on the Air.
QSL,
Okay, I heard a Kilo Charlie 3 in there. Go ahead.
Kilo Charlie 3, Oscar Tango, Quebec.
Kilo Charlie 3, Oscar Tango, Quebec. You are 5x9 here at Park 6856. QSL?
5x9 in Maryland, Mike Delta. Thanks for being there.
Roger, Roger, my friend. Thank you so much for you being there as well. QRZ, this is Kilo 4, Sierra Whiskey Lima. I heard a Bravo 0. Go ahead. Okay, I think I'm just missing one letter in there. Whiskey Bravo 0, question mark X-ray. Go ahead.
Whiskey Bravo 0, Delta Zulu X-ray.
Roger, Roger. Whiskey Bravo 0, Delta Zulu X-ray. Great signal. You're about a 5x7 here at Park 6856. QSL? Roger, Roger, my friend. Thank you so much for the contact in Missouri. Have yourself a wonderful day. QRZ, this is Kilo 4, Sierra Whiskey Lima for Parks on the Air. Okay, one more time. Okay, I heard a Kilo 5 Echo Foxtrot. Go ahead. Okay, Roger, Roger. I'm hearing everything except the very final letter of your call. I've got Kilo 5 Echo Foxtrot question mark. Can you give me that last letter, please? Roger, Roger. Kilo 5 Echo Foxtrot Yankee QRP. You sound great. You're about a 5x3 here at Park 6856 QSL. Roger, Roger, my friend. Thank you so much. I'm glad you're enjoying that 817. It's a great radio. You can give it a little pat on the top of its head for me. Hey, 73s, my friend. Thank you so much for the contact and have yourself a wonderful day. QRZ, this is Kilo 4, Sierra Whiskey Lima for Parks on the Air. Kilo 3, Echo Sierra. Brian, I think this is maybe one of the very few times I've heard your voice here on the air. You sound great about a 5x7 here at Park 6856. QSL?
QSL, I'm picking you up about a 4-4 there, Thomas. Thanks for the activation today, and it's good to talk to you on SSB as well.
Roger, Roger, my friend. Hey, take care. Stay warm up there, and I hope you get a little bit of park time yourself here soon. And take care. 73s. QRZ, this is Kilo 4, Sierra Whiskey Lima for Parks on the Air.
Kilo Echo 5, Quebec Bravo.
Kilo Echo 5, Quebec Bravo. You are about a 5x9 here at Park 6856 QSL.
Roger, about a 5-8 here in Dayton, Texas.
Roger, Roger. Thank you so much for the great signal report in Texas. I appreciate that. I'm running 5 watts today, so it's always nice to hear it's a good signal report. Hey, 73s, my friend. Take care. And QRZ, this is Kilo 4, Sierra Whiskey Lima for Parks on the Air. Okay, a station ending Tango. Go ahead. Kilo Delta 9, Delta Zulu Tango. You're about a 5x3 here at Park 6856 QSL.
Roger, Thomas. Roger. You are a 3x3, 33 here in Wisconsin. Thanks for being out there, and I enjoy your videos on YouTube, so thanks for doing that, and good luck, 73.
Hey, thank you so much. I'm glad you enjoyed the videos, and I hope we make some contacts here again here in the near future. I'm going to try to do a little more single sideband as well. 73s, my friend, have yourself a wonderful day. And QRZ, I'm going to do about 2 more calls. I need to move over to CW. I'm testing a radio right now, and I need to leave enough time to do some CW. So QRZ, this is Kilo 4, Sierra Whiskey Lima for Parks on the Air. Kilo Oscar 4, Foxtrot Hotel Sierra. You got a very strong signal, 5x9 here at Kilo 6856 QSL.
Yeah, QSL, Thomas. Thank you so much. Yeah, you're sounding good coming my way. I've got your
Oh, yeah, of course I do. Yeah, go ahead and put the second op on. You sound great there in Florida. Thank you so much.
Kilo November 4, Sierra Whiskey Sierra, 59 Tom into Florida.
Roger, Roger. Thank you so much. Kilo November 4, Sierra Whiskey Sierra. Thanks for the both of you for the nice contact today there in Florida. And I'm betting your weather's a little nicer than ours is up here right now. Hey, 7-3s, have yourself a wonderful day.
Back with your CW, 73.
7-3s. QRZ.
Whiskey 0, Golf Alpha Foxtrot.
Okay, Whiskey 0, Golf Alpha Foxtrot. You're going to be my last call here because I need to move over to CW now. You're a 5x9. Great signal here into Kilo 6856 QSL. Roger, Roger. Thank you so much for the contact in Minnesota. I'm glad I'm actually making it through there. Thank you so much. Have yourself a wonderful day. And 7-3s. I will take, did I hear a Victor Echo station in there?
Victor Echo 3, India Papa Sugar, VE3 IPS, you're 5-5, Tom, 5-5.
I thought I recognized that call. Great to get you in the call logs here. I'm not sure if I've ever worked you in single sideband. You are a 5x6 here at Park 6856. QSL? Roger, Roger. I'm enjoying the warm and wet weather right now. Hey, 7-3s, and take care. And I'm going to QSY over to the 20-meter band for CW. I need to test this radio in CW. This is the Xiegu G106. I want to get a little time doing that, so I'm going to go ahead and QSY over to 20 meters. If for some reason there's not a lot of activity there, I may move back over here to single sideband. Thanks so much. This is K4SWL QSY. Now, what I'm going to do is go in here to the... I hope I wasn't yelling too much into the microphone, by the way. I get a little excited when I'm doing... Now, this is a weird thing. Sometimes it kind of freezes there until that disappears. Okay. I find it very, very, very difficult in single sideband to keep up with the logs all at the same time. Very difficult for me to do. I see some corrections I need to make in here as well. I don't even know how this happened, but some of these are showing up as some weird mode. So I'm going to have some post-production work to do on this. I think what I ended up doing was actually putting a QQ somehow in the mode section. And it took that. So I'll have to go in. And what I do is I use a text editor, go in and do a big bulk find and replace, and change all that. So now here's something I've never tried before. I'm really curious if when I hop on here after I've been spotted in single sideband, if the reverse beacon network will catch me in CW and spot me automatically. We're going to find out. I'm going to test that before I spot myself. 20 meters CW. Let's see. Let me go ahead and put in the mode as CW. And put in the correct time, which is like 19. And so there's no CW message memory here. Also, this is the first time I have used this key, and I'm going to tell you about this key. This key costs about as much as the radio does. This is the Begali Traveler key. This is a key I have lusted after since I first became a CW operator back in like 2008 or so. I went to the Dayton Hamvention, and I was looking for my very first key. And I didn't know about Begali at all then much. I just read about them, in magazines, seen their ads. I didn't know them. And I went to the Begali booth, and out of all the keys I saw at Hamvention that year, and there were a lot, I knew that I really wanted my first key to be one of their keys. This one was just way outside my price range, though, and I went with a Begali Simplex, which I still use today, and I really love that key. Very basic, very nice key, works beautifully. Always wanted a Traveler. And I mentioned in a post, so this year I was planning to go to the Dayton Hamvention. I'm planning to go there. And that was the one item I wanted to purchase while I was there, was the Begali Traveler. I love the Begali family. Bruna and Piero are just awesome, and Roberto and everybody else that works there. They're great people, great family-run business. And so I planned to buy one from them. Well, I had mentioned somewhere in a post or a comment that I was interested in the Traveler, and I was planning to get one. And out of the blue, I got a box in the mail with a Traveler in it. I was not expecting. And it came from one of our dear readers, Jackie, and she sent it to me. And and just said, hey, I had this key. I actually end up using others, and I knew you wanted it, and she just wanted me to have it. And so she sent it to me, and I absolutely love this thing. I've been using it in the shack a whole bunch. It's got a wonderful action. It's a wonderful key. I love it. It's not meant for soda and things where you really need a really super lightweight key. This is not a lightweight key. It's very heavy. For a portable paddle, it's heavy, but I love it. And for POTA, oh my goodness, it's awesome. And it actually has a strap on here. I'll use it for soda activations as well, but maybe not ones where I'm trying to keep my backpack ultra light, but yeah. Okay, let's see. I need to hop on the air and get going here. Let's see if this is working. Okay, now as I mentioned, this is up all the way. Oh, one really important note. I noticed that on the 20-meter band, it sounded pretty clean, pretty clear. The noise floor is fairly low on this radio compared to other Xiegu radios I've tested. The noise is still kind of harsh, but it's just a little lower maybe than other ones. Maybe they got a little bit better DSP or something running in the background. I'm not sure. But I will tell you this, at home, it overloads very easily. There's an AM broadcaster maybe 7-8 miles away, and it doesn't bother any of my other radios, but it bothers this one. I'm not even so sure that it bothered the X6100, but it does this one. So the other day I was having to try to hunt stations and listen through gospel music the whole time because it was just bleeding straight through. So if you buy one of these, plan on making yourself a BCI filter. For it, because you need something to filter out that broadcast band. Since I'm not using the mic, I'm going to pull that sucker off here. There we go, just to give a little extra room. Okay, let's get going. But I do have it set up for full QSK. The side tone all depends on the AF gain setting, so there's no separate side tone volume. Let's give this a go. Not proper QSK, but the keying in this is not horrible. We'll check and see if it's spotting me at all. Good to get you in here, Joe. Yes, it did spot me. Good. Okay, well, let me see. Okay. He's coming up a little bit now. Back down again. This is not an especially sensitive radio, I'm noticing. That's a big signal. I love this key. Wow. I swear I heard K3. Oh, QRM, yeah. Boy, he's loud now. Okay, now I'm gonna try to get this station here. I heard it's a little slower. Did you get it? I know I'm hearing KE8PTX. Okay. No, okay. I'm gonna go ahead and give him a final sign off here. I think he maybe is giving me a state. I don't know that I ever got his signal report though, so I'll have to check in with him later. There's a lot of QSB today. That was a fast contact, wasn't it? I gotta check something in my life. Okay, wait. Got him. Okay. Okay. I have got to hop off here soon. I'm picking up my daughters at 3 o'clock, and that is 10 minutes away. This is reminding me I need to use a straight key sometime. This is the thing I hate doing. I've got to stop this in the middle of a pileup, but I've got to leave. I ran out of time. Okay. I hate to do that. I hate to do that. I've got to say bye. I would like to stay here a lot longer, but boy, I tell you what, I just blew through that hour, didn't I? Well, actually, I had one full hour, but I've got to pick up my daughters at 3 o'clock, and that is in 10 minutes. So I have to pack up all this stuff and get ready. So my thoughts are, first of all, these are initial thoughts. This is not a review or anything. First of all, I love this key. Man, this key's the best. The only miskeying you heard in there was my own problem trying to manage too many things at once. I really do love this key. And I find that the G106 keyer, like basically the keyer spacing and all of that, the timing and everything is pretty darn good. I like that. I think that it works pretty well. I'm not so sure I'm going to leave it at this really low, like 100 millisecond setting. I've actually got the speed up a little high. I don't know why it was that high, and I just didn't want to go in there and try to crank down the speed 2 more words per minute or something during this. So when I was working slower people, I tried to space out my characters a little bit for them. But this is probably running, I think I've got it set to 20 words per minute or something, or maybe 21. And yeah. And so when you heard me working contacts a little more quickly, those were contacts that were coming back to me quickly, so I assumed it would be okay to send them a really quick contact. Again, this wasn't exactly working contest speeds or anything. I like the size of this radio. I have to say, we didn't hear it today because we're not, I guess, close enough to a broadcaster, but you do have to have a broadcast band filter for this, and I'm not super nuts about that. Most of my other radios can cope with this, but the Xiegus I've had have not done as good a job with it. I think the G90 did pretty well, actually. I never had any overloading issues with it. But I do hear a little bit with the X5105. I heard a lot of it with the 6100, and I actually think this one may even be a little more wide open than the 6100 was or is. So if you plan to buy one of these, that's something to keep in mind. Now, I have to say, in terms of working single sideband, I should have asked some of these people for reports, and I meant to do that. But I didn't hear anybody tell me my audio was bad, so that's a good sign. And it's worked pretty well, actually. There are not a lot of controls I'm not even sure if there's a mic gain control on this radio. I need to go in there and dig around. There's no compression, no nothing like that, I don't think. It's actually, even though it looks kind of high-tech, it's actually a fairly basic radio. It does have a variable bandwidth in CW, I think from 500 hertz down to 50 hertz or something. It may be more of an audio filter than anything. I think that single sideband is fixed to one width. I need to go back and check that as well. But I've been running it off of a 12-volt, 3-amp-hour lithium iron phosphate battery. Of course, that works really well. It has fairly wide voltage range, so you could run this on 9 volts as well. But yeah, so okay, that was pretty fun. That was a pretty good introduction to it. So I'll be taking this radio out a whole lot more. Radio Oddity hasn't given me a really strict deadline for sending it back to them, so I do plan to take it out a bit and do a few more activations with it. So far, relatively pleased. The audio is not wonderful, but I do find that the noise floor is a little bit better than maybe the 6100 and the 5105 and possibly the G90. The noise floor is maybe a little bit better. Maybe it's just the conditions I'm in right now. Maybe that's affecting it. Audio is about the same as most Xiegu products, which is to say that it's not very refined. Their audio, to me, is relatively harsh, especially when you've got a little bit of more noisy conditions. I just find it a little harsh. The speaker doesn't crank up really high enough. I find that like the sensitivity, either the sensitivity is not as high as some of my other radios, and so I'm having to crank up the volume higher. But at the high volume, the problem is the side tone is also really loud, and that's just like the wrong combination, because when you're trying to hear a weak signal and you're working them, you don't want to blast your ear out with your own side tone level. So that's one negative. But for $320, really, it comes down to one of those things where you really can't complain. It works. If you're looking for a cheap radio to get on the air, this will probably do it. This will not handle things like field day or contest, or it was doing okay with these pileups, doing a little bit better than I thought it would. But it kind of, radios like this that overload easily tend to get a little garbled and ringy when they have, really strong pileups and multiple signals on one frequency. I have got to really pack up quickly. I've got 3 minutes to hop in my car, get all this stuff packed up, hop in my car, and then head out to pick up my daughters. I don't want them waiting for me too long. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you get a chance to go out and play some radio soon. And if you find a ham who is new to the hobby or who would like to learn how to do some field operating, please take them out and show them how to do it, because we are all built on this network of Elmers and ambassadors here in the ham radio community. So be the best one you can be. And I promise you, it's like one of the most rewarding things you can do. Anyway, until next time, take care and 7 3s.